Oh, podcasting! Hello, team.
Welcome
to a podcast this week too.
Oh, did you?
Oh, which I haven't shared.
Welcome to Friday Live at Urella with special guest Alison from the Guinea Crew. Long weekend coming up.
Yeah.
What's on the long weekend? Well, we got a street party out of Calliope going on.
Yeah, definitely. It's our annual street
Know how to party out there, those Calliopians.
Those bushies. and everyone's invited, right? Everyone's invited.
I was out at Calliope Wednesday night, the membership draw. They've got membership draws there on I think Wednesday and Friday night, and there was 1,000 people, I reckon. It's up to $33,000. You've got to be there to claim the
prize.
prize.
They haven't actually had a winner there a few weeks back when we were out there.
Yeah.
At Calliope, and they were there. They were there.
The first draw that ever went off out there when they started that membership draw was some people they were looking for a house through me, and I said, you should get in the bowls club and join up because there's this membership draw we just started. They went in and put their application in to join, and you have to wait 30 days to be in the draw, and the day they turned up they won it. She won $20,000.
No.
The first, and they bought a house.
$20,000.
Yep.
And then they came
well,
to
then they all,
no,
everyone cracked up at me and said, you shouldn't have got him to join. I said, it's good for Calliope.
That's right. It's good for the area. That's right.
They give the Calliope Bowls Club a plug. Great meals. Great Chinese restaurant.
There, yeah.
Awesome.
You guys go there.
Actually, the Railway and Diggers Arms have great meals. Diggers Arms is great
on a Friday
too.
night,
Yeah,
they have
beautiful
good
meals.
raffles and awesome meals.
Beautiful. Plug for Calliope. There you go. So there's a big street party out there.
There is.
Yeah,
Sunday.
there is. Slip and slide.
I think there's a lot of stuff around town for Australia. You've only got to look for the events on Facebook, and there's a heap of stuff on. So
and if you can't find anything, go to the beach.
Go to the beach.
Hello, Shelley.
Yes.
Shelley Holson. I
Happy
was talking about you
Friday.
this week. You're a hard-working.
Well, I've got to give some information. You know how most people actually say that they are going to run for council?
Yes, we want the actual what's happening. Are you or are you not?
No.
You've decided against it.
Can't. We don't have time.
No.
I can't run a business and be a councillor, which that wouldn't be fair.
A lot of people make that decision last minute. I've had a few friends who were business owners. That's why it came up. I had coffee with Matt this week, and he said he wasn't sure if you were going to or not. As much as he's encouraging everyone to put their hand up.
He is, and there's some great candidates, and we've had some of them on, and you've spoken to some of them.
I think there's we actually talked about, because I think we interviewed Mark from the Point Valley. He's going to run again. Yep. And
Pat
I think
Laws will run again.
No, I don't think Pat's running again.
Eesh. I thought Pat would be stand-up.
No, there was a few that we mentioned that were running again, and a few that have decided not to run.
Right. Well, PJ won't run again. Obviously, he said he was.
I think it's about a month before they have to
22nd of
announce, isn't it? Yeah.
22nd
Which is a month. Nearly a month.
In a few days' time.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a shame. I'm really disappointed, but it just wouldn't be fair to the business to try and do that.
No, it's hard to juggle. It's very hard to juggle.
And
they're busy people.
Oh, absolutely.
Very busy.
And I spoke to Desley during the week, and it's a full-time role. So it should be.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And if you don't put that time into it, which some of them probably wouldn't, that's cool. I guess it'd be pretty obvious if you didn't. And I think I'd feel like I had to. I'd feel obliged to want it.
Well, I think Khan's been advertising,
has he
on Facebook. He's running again, and I think Natalia is. So
I can't do things by half, so that would be really difficult to do half a job.
Yeah.
But I just want to quickly mention, because Matt and I had a catch up about what's going on around Gladstone, and it's all really very positive.
Absolutely.
I've had a massive, I was just saying, I had my busiest month for sales in January that we've seen in about 7 years. Every agent that I'm talking to, the bottom end of the market is just going. We've just barely got any stock under 300,000 left. It's really good news. We had an open house on a little 3-bedroom house in Clinton for rent during the week, and I had 18 groups of people through in 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
And I think we got 8 applications on that property. So it's just going crazy. And the rentals getting busier is actually pushing people into the sales market again.
Absolutely.
So that lower end is starting to clear. A lot of first home buyers. I love it when I get first home buyers and young couples, guys been working sorry, I keep touching your leg, QAL or the port or whatever, and I love it when they come in and they've saved a deposit to buy a house. It's a good thing.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
And I think Zachy got in at the right time. So he got in 6 months ago, just before things sort of turned.
I bought 12 months ago, and it was the best decision.
Time ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm really happy for that. Nudgy, Simon.
And just to clear it up once again, and I've said it before, real estate agents do not drive the market. Supply and demand drive the market.
They do too.
We do not.
I know you don't.
So,
Hey, we had an offer.
if that was the case, we would all be mega rich because we'd know exactly when to buy and exactly when to sell. So that's not the case.
We actually got an offer on Dolphin Terrace, which was nice. It was too low. Still, to get an offer up there in that.
Yeah, we've had a couple of $1 million buyers out there looking, and I was just saying to some other clients, we've seen a lot more stock clearing in around that $500,000, which is good. It's starting to clear some stock, and really, it's still not too late to buy. Everybody, I would be seeing a broker or a bank, and also be really selective about who you go and see for lending. There are still some banks whose lenders, mortgage insurers, have the 4680 postcode blacklisted, and you will struggle to buy in certain areas if you see the wrong bank. So keep that in mind. Shop around.
And I would say, and we try to use a broker as much as we can because they know all that stuff. So they make sure that they set you up with the right lender. And yes, they're biased at times. I get that. But in saying that, they'll work pretty hard because they're commission based, and so they will go and find a loan. If anyone's going to give you a loan, get you a loan, a broker will. So.
And it's quite interesting that brokers don't. Hey guys, Catherine's joined us too. It's quite interesting. Brokers don't cost you any money.
That's right.
They have up to 30 lenders on their books, so they're not just selling you the one product, and they can quite often get you a much better interest rate.
That's right. Well, but the challenge is, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mortgage brokers, this is hand on heart, said with love. Sometimes they'll be biased by the product,
which is why you have to find the right broker.
That's right.
Because the right broker will actually do it, and genuinely, it's like the right real estate agent.
And you got to find the right
agent that will actually do it genuinely to get you the best deal.
Yeah.
So I think that the right fit.
Yeah, definitely.
So Gladstone's going good. We've got some stuff going on this weekend.
You've come down from your high from your Cambodia trip.
Nearly. Been back 2 weeks. I'm nearly back to the weight that I was before I went away. So I worked out, it's a 5 week turnaround.
So the food's not bad over there.
How much weight did you put on over there?
7 kilos.
Oh my God. How long did you go for?
3 weeks.
What, did you eat the country?
Pretty much. And drank like a fancy. I didn't realise how much.
You guys were into the cocktails pretty heavily.
Well,
I've never seen you guys drink that much.
$1.50 cocktail.
It was so funny watching the posts on Facebook. Yeah.
Shall I go for a walk? No,
let's
cocktail.
Let's drink more. And 50-cent beers, can't it?
Oh, no.
50-cent beers. Nice.
Seriously, we were pretty pissed.
See?
Throwing your hat in the ring.
Great to hear. Yeah.
It does.
It does, Shelley. Absolutely, it does. And anyone who doesn't know that is not spending enough time with our counsellors.
And anyone that says it's not undervalues that role.
Yes, it absolutely does.
And doesn't realise the importance of the role. And see, that was the reason I was going to run, because I don't think people do realise the importance of that role. Seriously. So I was going to try and connect the community to council. That's what I was really going to be focused on.
Which a lot of the councillors, that's their intention, is to actually be a voice for the community. And I think if anybody that thinks that it's an easy role and that councillors get paid $1 gazillion or whatever, they're the people that would never put their hat in the ring.
That's
because they actually, if it was that easy, everyone would want to run for council. I've been asked recently about, just having a joke with Matt the other day, and I've had people say, you should run for mayor. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
We got a good
I wouldn't be a councillor.
councillor.
Seriously? I wouldn't be Nah, you can have that. It's like being in property management. Those people are just the most amazing people.
They are, aren't they? That's a thankless role, that job.
It is, and they work very hard.
I take my hat off.
Plugs for my beautiful Laurie. She's amazing. And I just have to give a plug to my young Ben.
How's Ben going?
Ben is, man,
good?
he is, I have to, honestly, for a 22-year-old guy to come in, I have worked with a lot of people in this industry. I have never, ever, in any past role that I've worked with another agent, seen such passion, dedication. He wants to better himself continuously. He is an exceptional communicator. The feedback that I'm getting from clients, and he is just onto everything. Hats off, big plug for Ben. I want to give young gun a shot at selling your house. He's very, very good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good on him. Good. And that's a big
He listed and sold his first house this week, and it didn't even hit the net. Didn't even hit the internet.
Go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
We're a bit sad because I'm like, oh, you're not going to be able to put it in the newspaper and tell everyone you got your first listing. But yeah, he did. He listed and sold his first house.
But it goes on the internet, right? So
Well, it doesn't
sees
unless we didn't even get photos. We just had a buyer and he listed the property and I said,
so it doesn't even go, but it has to go down as a house sale somewhere, doesn't it?
well, yeah, it'll probably go. It'll go on. Yeah, it'll go on
But he won't get to
as a
get that
sale, but he
snippet
won't
of
get
it
he won't get it in the
from the
paper for
paper.
5 weeks.
Yeah,
We sold it in
exactly.
like 24 hours. So
David Bruton. She always got Leanne Flugel. Does anyone
Hey.
remember Leanne? She was a physio here. Anne Zahn, great teaching
Oh,
girl.
hey, Anne.
Yeah, you know Anne?
Yeah.
Right. She teaches
She's
your kids?
awesome.
Yeah, she teaches your kids?
Our kids went to school together.
Oh, is that what
Yeah.
it was?
you know what I'm finding really amazing
Jeez,
at the
I feel
moment.
old. So I remember her boom.
What's amazing at the moment is I'm turning up to property inspections and it's young adults who went to school with my
know,
children
cute.
and they're like,
I
hello, Mrs.
know.
Waters.
Oh, I know. So
Yeah.
I did the session part of the induction for the port
Yeah.
apprentices this week, and like I've been doing that since 2014. So that's it's a long-term relationship. And I remember in 2014, I'd say, "Oh, does anyone know Toby and Zach?" No. Because they were like in grade 9
Yeah.
and 10 these apprentices role. And then as they come through, and like a couple of years ago, each year it was all their buddies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now we're at the point where we pass them and there's only like 2 said, oh, that's right, yeah, I know Zach from the drink. So good on you, bro.
Well, some of these kids I haven't, well, so they're not kids now, but they were kids, and some of them I haven't seen since high school.
Yeah.
So this big, tall, drink of water, lanky dude comes into a house this week, and I'm looking up, and
What's a
I
drink
said,
of water,
I
mate?
said, I've met. Why don't they say a tall drink?
That means they're a spunk.
Oh, does it? Oh, well,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, he was a tall young
Okay.
man, and he walks into this inspection, and I went, I said, I've met you before. He said, yeah, I went to school with Sarah, and I'm like, seriously? You were like this big
exactly.
and
Yeah, you were that tall when I
skinny
saw
little
you.
thing. Yeah, so
That's
it's
right.
amazing. So, hey, Donna Ellers. Donna's been
Yeah,
kicking
she's
goals
going
on
nuts.
Facebook. She
And
is.
hello, Katie Marie. I don't know who's Katie Marie. We should know. I'm sure.
I do
I'm
know
sorry,
Katie. Hello, Katie.
Right, so let's get down to business.
Yeah.
Alison Perry's in the
hot
spotlight
seat.
and
Yeah.
the hot seat. Right. So
He's thrown you under the bus.
Oh, he has.
Yeah.
Totally prepared
So,
not.
That's the best way to
I
be.
told her that
Anton and I
before.
usually prepare like on the way. We bring up, what are we talking about?
So Ali, talk
Yeah.
us through it. So Ali's just so everyone knows, Ali's our business manager. So
Yeah.
she runs our office and she's our client director of first impressions. She does everything important in the business.
And how long have you worked for the Guinea Pig?
Uh,
Whoa.
it will be 8 years in June.
Wow, it's a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
time.
So she's like backbone.
Oh, well and truly.
Yep.
No, it's been great.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So what have
Still
you?
good.
How have you found since you started?
Working with Airton, fantastic.
He just put words in my
Has he
mouth.
gotten better to work with, or is
Oh,
is he like? Because he's pretty
Go
pretty excitable. And
Oh, he's a bit
it'd be
excitable.
interesting working with Anton
It's
all the
great.
time.
It's great.
I mean, like an hour a week, and it's like, God.
Boring.
There is occasionally moments you probably go, oh, I'm glad he's not in the office today. I can do what I've
I can
planned.
get something done. So you're getting talked at. Oh,
No,
Ali.
You've always got so many new ideas.
Oh,
I do
And
that.
it's
I'm
like-
like, guess what, and do this, and yeah.
So it's good when I know you're there. I can be like, okay, have a flexible plan.
Right. And we book 2 hours out of the 8 because we're going to talk the rest of the plan.
Well,
Yes.
no, there's always so many good new ideas.
There is,
and you just, it's
And
like,
well, let's talk through one of them. Let's talk through the disc profiles that we talked about this week.
oh,
And so Ros was part of the
Mhm.
group that we
That
did
was
it.
amazing.
They're good, eh?
Oh,
Why don't you
Amazing.
talk about it from
Amazing.
a client
So I
perspective?
went to the public speaking forum on the Sunshine Coast that Anton held and met some amazing people there. And Anton had pre-arranged before we got there to fill out this thing online to actually profile us. And then we got a copy of our profile with the gentleman,
Lindsay.
Lindsay. Yeah, he's
great guy.
awesome.
He actually organised to send us out the profiling, and we had to just answer like a heap of questions. It was all clicking on the tick box thing.
Yeah.
And we actually got this printout about our profile, and it was actually amazing because we were amongst a group of people who were all there to get better at public speaking and get more confident. The large majority of our profiles were the same, weren't they?
They were.
They
They
were
all
actually
eyes.
so we were all actually very similar in profile, but it actually tells you a whole lot, and it makes sense when you read it. It tells you a whole lot about the type of person you are, but it also tells you about other people you have to deal with
Absolutely.
and how to sort of
How to
deal with them
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
successfully and communicate better. So
Yeah.
it's definitely worthwhile.
So we're disc qualified, certified to roll that work out now. And so we got our leadership program next week.
Yes.
30th and the 31st. Actually, why don't you talk about that and maybe lead from that into how we're going to use DISC there, Alison, and then how we're going to use DISC to follow up. I know. So Roz and I are just going to sit back now and just let you
just like me.
That's it.
The leadership workshop is going to be fantastic. Really excited. Got the workbook all done.
Yes,
it's looking
we
fantastic. There's going to be some really great business leaders coming along. And so as a little, I guess, added bonus, we've decided we're going to throw in the DISC profiling at our cost. As part of it, and so they can really understand how they think and
work as a leader.
And their areas of opportunity, I guess, and how they can interact better with different individuals or different profiles.
Absolutely.
And I think that probably the most blinding flash of the obvious that you sort of get from it is when they break it down into, you break it down into how you communicate and all the different aspects of the type of profile that you are, because it makes you understand. And it's like you're reading it and you actually go, oh my God, I so do that, or oh my God, that's you know what I mean? It's really, so and true. It's very accurate.
Absolutely.
It's very accurate.
I tell you what, why don't we, because we are good at giving stuff away, why don't we actually offer a free profile today valued at over $200?
That is,
So
the person who comments the most.
The person who, So
who says the nicest things about
it. That's right.
The most complimentary comments.
TGG, stop. So we're going to give a free DISC profile away today. And what Google DISC, we won't go into it too much, but really what we just want to say is there's dominant, there's influencer, there's structure, there's what's the C stand for? Heaps of detail, basically. So what we'd love to be able to do is to talk with you. If you win this today, we'll sit down and we'll take you through that from a personality perspective. And you can take that back to your business and you can actually use that with your team to say, look, this is the sort of person I am. This is how I like to be worked with. And this is why I show up the way that I do. So it's really, really valuable.
So Alison, with the DISC profiling, if there's a business, small or big out there, or an industry who would like to get to know their people better, is that something that people in the public can contact you about? You would come in and you would profile their leaders or their team?
Yeah, most definitely. And we've also, Anton's also qualified TMS, so he can also then on top of that see how these teams fit together. But the DISC profile is really interesting. You can also use it if you want to, say, narrow down your candidates. You want the right person.
Great idea.
Right
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah. There are businesses.
So you mean if someone's hiring, they could actually use that as part of the interview process, where before you attend the interview, you have to do this?
Yes.
And then before they get there, you will know what type of person they are.
Yeah, and there is.
How valuable is that?
So we work with HR managers in that space to actually set the business up for success by putting the right people in the right roles.
And there are certain indicators for people of certain roles. So an accountant has certain, I guess, desirable qualities, and so you can look for that too as well.
So you can actually help people to, like if they were doing the interview process, you could do the profiling for them leading up to the interview, and then you could actually sit with them after the interviews even and help them to decide out of the profiles that you've got who would be the best candidate for the job, and also based on how they interview. Because you can really dodgy things up, can't you? In an interview, you can.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a resume? Stretch it.
Your references. Well, you're not going to put a reference down.
I am not good at selling myself.
You're not going to put a reference down who's going to say bad stuff about you. So you can dodge it, and in the profiling, I don't believe you can actually dodge it.
No.
Because you actually, when you're answering it, you don't know what. It's not like a really clear way of finding out. Is this going to make me look better, or you just can't do it?
And you can't go back.
No, you can't. No. Once you tick the box.
And I think that's the value of this, because it's like, multi-choice that you do at school. They always say your first answer generally the right one.
And it actually tells you to answer them immediately. Like it says you don't sit there and think about it too much, so you actually don't have time. And funnily enough, while you're doing it, when they email it to you and you're filling it out, you are actually ticking and thinking, how the hell is this relevant? Seriously, how? And some of the questions are so obscure, you actually go, How are they going to find out anything about me by answering this particular
We're
question?
just lucky that good psychologists and psychiatrists type people have done the work. What I saw today, so we got a disc profile in already, so someone's done the disc profile.
Yeah.
And there's this one particular page in it that I just love, where you go straight to it, and it says, where do you function in general? So no stress, it's a normal day at the office, you've got to do leadership, or you've got to make a decision, or you've got to whatever. How do you function? You know, are you dominant or are you an influencer?
Do you get escalated quickly or do
exactly?
Yeah.
And then next to it is what you default to under stress and under pressure.
That was so interesting.
So you can sort of see where people go from being an influencer, so for putting the time into it, to D, to dominant. When they're under stress, they just go bang. This is the way it's going to be on the leader, up your bum. Well, they might go the other way. They might go from being an influencer to structured, so they need more information on which to make a decision. So it's really interesting to see.
And it would be interesting to share that with your team, because when we interviewed Gus from GAPDL, and we said he's a completely different personality to Daryl, who he had taken on the role after Daryl left. So if you had your staff used to a certain leader within the company who did things a certain way, and then you had someone come in and change,
that's right.
If you can share with your staff why it's important to understand that everyone's a different type of profile, it would help them actually work with that leader much better than if you didn't have your team do this sort of thing.
Yes.
So true.
Understanding how people communicate and what their values are just changes it all.
Yeah, definitely.
You learn about other people, right?
So how, just purely because I have no idea about this, when you go into industry, they get you to do psychometric testing.
Yeah.
So is this a similar thing?
Same,
it's so it's a little bit different, but
Okay.
Well,
this might be the one that. So I did this as part of some of the organisations that I was in when I was employed. There's Myers-Briggs is probably the most.
Myers-Briggs is pretty.
That's the big one.
Yeah, that's pretty intense, isn't it, when you're answering those questions?
And then there's probably another half a dozen that are reasonably well known. Like this TMS is another one.
Yeah.
I've done TMS 2 or 3 times over my career, so it's the same. Just depends on what tool the organisation chooses to use, and there's different purposes, right? So DISC is very personal.
Yeah.
Whereas when we've got a team together, like Ali said, the TMS is team management system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's more of a wheel, and it says you need all of these roles to have a high performing team. So you actually ask people where they sit around this quadrant, or these 8 levels or 8 points, so that you can actually see who you're missing in the team.
Well, I was going to say, it would show you your gaps then. You would actually be able to see, well, okay, we've got, plenty of that, like that room of people at the public speaking forum.
We're all eyes.
We wouldn't be able to run a successful team probably because we're all pretty much the same. Well, I think we had one that was different to everybody else, but we were all, close to or the same. So it would be hard to...
Well, Anton's the hair.
There's another one. See, that's another one. The hair, tortoise and squirrel.
He's you're just fast and furious. Let's get it done. And I'm like, hey, where's the details?
That's
I need the details.
And you need the different types of people within your team to have that balance and where you can bounce off each other and.
Absolutely. Which is good.
And it's interesting when you think back across your career path, like, from when you left school, and this is what the profiling actually made me do, was to go back and say, I can actually see now why that particular team that I worked in when I had that job was dysfunctional. It didn't actually work, For some reason or another, there was too many dominant people and influencers in that group. So it actually makes you go back and go, oh, that makes sense now, because it's not just about personalities. It's actually about your profile and how you deal with situations.
And how you fit into a team.
Exactly. And it's also important to know that you can see the role of someone that's different to you. So when you go, oh my God, they're not as bubbly as everyone else, or they're that accountant type where they're more figure-based, or they're...
But you've got to have an understanding. Because, it'd be pretty boring if we're all the same. We'd all argue, possibly.
It's about seeing that value in each member of your team, even though they're not all exactly the same. It, like I said, it just wouldn't work if everyone was the same profile. So if you want to get your team profiles and understand what...
and if anyone would like to get a free disc profile, put it up there, and we're happy to help you out with that. So that's at our cost. So we'll make that happen for you.
Very worthwhile, I have to say.
Absolutely. So Ali, let's not talk about TGG as much, maybe. So personally, what's going on? What's the Alison Perry story?
The Alison Perry. Well, mother of two, married, and
What did you do straight out of school?
Sorry,
Oh,
what
you
did I
answer
do?
that question first.
Okay.
How long have you guys been married? You've been
Well,
together
I'm going to
for
be
a
in so much trouble.
Ah.
You can't remember,
2001.
can you?
That's right.
2001 we got married.
G'day, Lee.
So,
That's 19 years.
19 years. That's right. I said the other night, it's 20 years next year.
Oh,
You have to do something to celebrate.
And 24 years together. So we were 16 years old when we met.
Wow. My daughter's getting married in May, and
Yeah.
they started dating in grade 9.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, they broke up
13 or 14?
for about a year
Yeah.
around grade 12 and after school finished. But yeah, they're getting married. So
We met each other at school,
20
and then started dating. We both left school, and
And
what did you do straight out of school then, work-wise?
I actually went into managing at McDonald's.
I reckon
So-
McDonald's is one of the best places to train
Absolutely.
to get systems and processes
So,
training.
so
Yeah.
spent a bit of time with Tony Ward.
They spend a lot of money on their staff,
Yeah.
and right down to the would you like an apple pie with that? That's all part of their
the
training. The
upsell's all
upsell.
part of it. When you go away and do a management course and stuff with it, you do a little bit of profiling on yourself to understand yourself and how others work as well.
Yep.
How to communicate with your
Others.
team and how to train and amazing training.
So how did you find being in a management role that young?
Pretty good. My dad's always, I guess, been he was the maintenance planner and shift supervisor and things like that. And I'm probably very similar to my dad in a lot of ways.
Did you feel more
confident
confident stepping into that role at a young age because of the training you got with the company you were?
Yeah, I knew
They have a great system schedule.
they do.
They really do.
Oh,
You weren't allowed to do anything until you were competent.
Is that right?
Yes, and I had fantastic support. Actually, Tony and
Tony Ward.
Tony and Catherine Keenan from the Gladstone area.
Oh, they are the Keenans.
Yes, they took over the store, and they really just took
This
me
is up
under
north.
up north
Right.
in there, and they took me under their wing
Did they
and really just
Nurtured
trained me
you.
up. Yeah, to the point that they'd go away on holidays, and I ran and managed the store
Wow.
for
So
them.
how old were you then?
I was about 20.
Wow.
Holy shit.
So yeah,
The young gun manager.
Judson's coffee was the same. There you
go. Yeah. So it was amazing. I bawled my eyes out when I left.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, we were a family.
Yeah.
Oh wow! And see, that also
Jeez, it
creates
says a
that
lot.
culture, doesn't it? When you've got
Says a lot for your employer too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah. They're amazing. I'd love to know where they're going, kicking about.
Yeah.
So they were really fantastic.
So how long were you in that role then before you left?
Oh.
Milk frothing, very important, which I
Well,
still can't do. Even though
I
I'm
was
in
there
that shape.
before there was even the cafe.
What? Yes.
Oh,
So
McCafe,
I saw
yeah.
a whole heap of things roll out, and I got to be part of creating a program actually that got rolled out nationwide, a competition to help our crew trainers complete their reports and assessments and train the staff.
Wow.
So that was really cool too. But
And I met a guy, he actually works for Remax now, the head office, and he was involved in the when they rolled out the screens, the self-serve, where you can walk in and order.
And Macca's.
Yeah, where you
Yeah.
can actually just punch it onto the touch screen and
Yeah.
your order gets called out. So
yeah.
I love spending time with Tony Ward because he's good enough to. He really shares information, and he's taken me back the back end, and all the machines at the time.
Aren't they
on it,
incredible?
Unbelievable.
It's all about systems. Yeah. But in answer, I was there probably managing. I think it was 2 or 3 years.
wow, okay,
And
you would have
then
learned a lot in that time.
We moved here, and I was fortunate enough to get a job at McDonald's here with Ron and Sue
Okay.
Hawkins, and worked with them for about a year before I fell pregnant and left to
Had
have
the
my first
family,
child.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there a real Macca's University? There is a Domino's franchise.
Franchise. I wouldn't say we called it university. We did go away for the management program, McDonald's management program.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a whole heap of textbooks and
Was there?
yeah, so you had to sit down, go through, complete, and you go away for a week's training on the side as well. Yeah.
Because they had a rollout of remember there was everything's going to be made fresh now? Remember they rolled that out and it sort of was a bit of a disaster at the beginning. Yeah, because you're going through the drive-through and their new thing was that no burgers just sitting in the hot box. So they will come out as you order them. So remember that was a few years ago.
I remember thinking about it and I'm going, oh my gosh, I fear for them.
Yeah, I would have thought so, because that was the big thing, was that you could just drive in.
What an incredible,
as a commitment, right?
Yeah.
Stand by your product.
Yeah.
So you would have been there at least, and obviously even, if you went to somewhere like McDonald's now and you see when you started, because that's there's been a massive amount of changes with McDonald's since then.
They're in your 20s.
And being in a management, being in a management role back before they had the amount of products that they offer now, when you look at something like the McDonald's menu where they have the 26 flavours of frozen drinks and the soft serve ice creams, and they brought McCafe in.
The drink machines pour the drinks and get the cups and do it all themselves now.
And automating, I guess, would have been something that gave them the ability to add so much to the menu, because it was just the Big Mac and the quarter pounder and the cheeseburger back then, and fries and
and then with each every so often get a new special burger for a month or something.
It was never put on the menu permanently.
So and we were so excited too.
So what was your biggest learning out of that? Especially managing probably some younger generation.
Teenagers. Teenagers.
Are they hard to manage?
Teenagers don't listen to their parents, but as a manager, you could be a huge influence in their lives.
That's a big learning.
Right.
So...
talk us through that.
That was quite interesting, because they all had issues with their parents, and their parents didn't understand. But because I guess at that point I was a bit younger, I was young. I wasn't that much older, and so they would.
Who was that?
Hey, I've got teenage kids now, so I so feel it.
Are you going to send them out to Macca's?
I should. Actually, one of them is at Calliope Pizza Place.
There you go.
Best pizzas ever.
I absolutely second that. Absolutely
you can't go wrong
second
with
that.
Pizza Place.
It is. They are to die for. I'll drive out there to get a pizza.
Absolutely.
I can't blame you.
Yeah, I just absolutely love their pizza.
I love it.
And they do really different pizzas. So, man.
They do a vegan one?
They do everything, I think.
Right,
it's just, And they honestly, the amount of filling, they're like a gourmet. Oh, man. And they swell different sauces
Real
on top
pizza.
of that. They're really yummy.
Actually, I was talking to one of the lady that owns it about some sales training one time for
Yeah.
No, they are honestly the best pizzas. They're
So I'm hoping he'll get some nice, tough life lessons and get to grow up a bit more.
Isn't it funny though how many? Because you've all had kids, you've all had teenage kids.
They are.
Yeah.
The takeaway industry, the uptake of kids
Retail,
in high school, or because
Absolutely.
Brennan's first job was at Eagle Boys when they were open at Tannum Sands, and he was there while he was at school.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important. And this is where I find it a real shame with the self-serve checkouts at Coles and Woolies, because that's taken such a huge amount of jobs away for our kids from high school jobs. My first job while I was at school was in a supermarket.
It teaches them to communicate as well, and how to work in a team, and just the training. To start to really,
that's okay.
That's okay.
Just to really enter the workforce. I think it's so important to get the kids into a job after hours for school, to give them some responsibility.
And most of those big franchises, like Eagle Boys, McDonald's, Domino, all of those places, and Coles and Woolies, they have programs in place where it's so structured that they can't help but learn, how important those things are. And and I think that it is really, really sad that you walk into Coles or Woolies now. And it's probably saved them money, but it's taken so many jobs away for our young people, hasn't it?
It has. I do agree.
It's really, And I guess even with the automation of a lot of things would have taken a lot of jobs away as well.
I think my favourite Macca's story, I actually just want to show you something here very quickly, because I think...
you can't get it to open, can you?
Maybe if I hold on.
That Android technology.
Snap. Totally agree.
Why can I not open it?
I totally agree.
If I was in the office, I'd just give it to Alison and say, can you open this? But I can't. Piece of shite. I want to show you your file just about.
But he can't because it's Android.
We had an issue like that today, didn't we? Hello,
We
Robin
did.
Lilly. Thanks for joining us. So my favourite Macca's story is the McCafe.
Yeah.
You know, it was in Australia, Melbourne. Because
They
Melbourne's got
started it in
Yeah.
Australia.
We have a massive coffee culture.
We do. We
Yeah.
do, right?
The best coffee in the world.
Absolutely. I know. Just go to America.
Actually, I hear that. I don't drink coffee, but every time I go to America, the Australians I'm with, they just bag. They said they do not know.
It'd be terrible.
Well, they think Starbucks is coffee. Like that's the only
Yeah,
coffee.
coffee.
You can't just go to a
Coffee
good
shop.
coffee
like
shop
that.
with
No, that's
barista.
right.
Like it's just such a culture over here.
That's where Starbucks came from. Two dudes.
It's like
sitting around.
wine. You think of people who are really into tasting wine, and coffee's like that. Like
Yeah, it
coffee
is.
people are crazy. I drink tea, so
Oh, I jump on Food Radar
Yeah.
and
There you go.
yeah, just to find where I'm going for coffee if I'm in a town I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
is it, we
The
have
best-
even in Gladstone we have some really great coffee
Oh
places.
yes.
The best one that's
And I hear about where the good coffee is just purely because I talk to a lot of people, not that I
insane
drink
coffee,
it.
apparently. Going through Childers is apparently the big one. No?
Insane.
Insane.
Insane coffee.
Was that the one that used to be sexy coffee?
No, that's Oliver's.
Yeah.
No, that's
so that's
Gin
gone
Gin.
down a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Gin
It's
Gin.
It's not worth going to
Exactly.
anymore.
Sorry, Oliver's. We'd never bag another business, but sorry, Oliver's. But the McCafe story is good because there was a Macca's franchisee on one of those little sort of streets in Melbourne, you know, very little coffee
Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
And someone out the front had a coffee stand, and he said, "I'm going to give this a try." Macca said, "You're not allowed to do that." And he said, "Well, up your bum, I'm going to anyway." And he put a little coffee stand outside Macca's, and it went so well.
They
He
took
made
it
a
on
little
as an
window.
idea.
Yeah.
And this one franchisee, now it's McCafe.
Yeah.
Like, how's that?
Crazy
And
how
been rolled
something like
out.
that would start.
What, worldwide?
Yeah, I think so.
I'd say.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
I
worldwide.
hope so. If I'm
Yeah.
travelling overseas, I'll know where I can get
That's
decent
right.
coffee.
I'll use my
Starbucks.
iPhone that works to look that up. You watch it die on me now.
Starbucks was
love
never
it.
about the coffee. It was about branding and merchandise.
Yes,
Wow.
it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you take, hello, Natalia Muscat.
I have
Thanks
to
for
say,
joining
being a
us.
tea drinker, you can't get tea in America. You know, you go to a hotel here and there's a kettle and tea bags and all that.
They don't
Very
do tea.
rare to have a kettle in a
Right.
hotel in
Really?
America.
Shit.
And Starbucks saved my life because it was the only place I could actually go and
There
get
you
tea.
go.
And because they're on every corner, plus they have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So that was
yeah.
always handy.
Yeah. I'm going to get this. I'm going to try one more time. Alison, what would you do if you were me?
Buy an
Oh, there we
iPhone.
go.
Oh, shit, yeah. That's good. I tried. Let me see if you can get that. What would you do? Hey, thanks, Natalia. And Owen Perrett's joined us. Look at us all looking at our technology.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep
McCafe
going.
was launched in Melbourne, in
Yeah.
Australia, in 1993
Yeah.
by Anne
Why-
Brown. It was a lady.
Oh, it was a lady.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm just trying to
That's
see if
okay.
it's global.
I want to see if I can bring this. Oh, it's going to be worth the wait.
Look at that. This is interesting. Talking about a coffee culture, McCafe outlets generated 15% more revenue than a regular McDonald's. And by 2003, were the largest coffee shop brand in Australia and New Zealand.
McCafe.
McCafe.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That's,
It is.
that is incredible.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if I should show this because we're rolling it out at Robbo. After all of that,
Oh,
it's a new
yes.
model that we've got around it, adaptability quotient, and what the new skill set are. So for kids that are losing their jobs,
Yeah.
seriously, if they've got the right mindset, there's another job somewhere else for them, right?
Yeah.
And that's interesting. You know, we were talking about people like the good coffee.
Yeah.
McDonald's initially tried the automated espresso machines and they were a huge failure. And then they transferred, in the last decade, they've transferred every single McDonald's over to having a McCafe because people want their barista to actually make their coffees. So
Well-
they didn't just want the stick your cup
Yeah.
under and press a button
Yeah.
coffee.
Can I tell you something? When I was drinking a lot of coffee out, Macca's was my go-to coffee.
Yeah.
I shit you not.
Well,
That's
you
where
know,
we'd
it's
always go.
consistent.
Absolutely.
And that's it, isn't
But
it?
not only that, like if you speak to Tony Ward, his baristas do way more training than say I won't mention another brand, but let's say another
General, a lot of
the
coffee
general
shops.
coffee shop.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
sends them away for weeks at a time, a year.
Actually, Campos, they will not allow.
hello,
Fox has
Natalia.
Campos, and they're not allowed to sell that product unless they have
That's
qualified
right. Bang, bang, bang.
baristas.
Absolutely.
So,
And I think
protect their brand.
I
That's the
agree.
same with McDonald's across the world. You know, that level of training is there, and that's why people. I've
It is, Natalia.
often talked to people who go overseas, and if they're scared of eating the local food, like we talked about
Yeah.
last week with
No, go to
Asia,
Macca's.
they know that they will always get the exact
Absolutely.
same tasting food at McDonald's.
And not only that, you get the same tasting food. But if you go to Philippines, you can actually get Philippine type meals in Macca's. Like you get some
Yeah,
rice.
yeah.
And there was this one in the Philippines.
So they Asianise
Yeah,
the
they
meal.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So cool.
There is some
There's some
adaptability.
exactly. So you can get what you want, or you can get the Asian version of Macca's, which is cool too.
Interestingly enough, I watched a documentary about takeaway food
Okay.
worldwide
Kelly,
recently in the last couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, like
And the food regulations are different in every country. And the documentary was actually about the fact that a lot of Asian countries don't have the strict standards that we have here and in France and Europe. So they actually were comparing certain takeaway foods like KFC or McDonald's and what their fat and sugar and salt content was in Asia compared to regulated countries. And they're actually really concerned about obesity in Asian countries because they've actually increased the amount by 3 or 4-fold. They've increased the amount of sugar, salt and fat in those products, but they're marketed over there as health food. They actually played the commercials on TV and they're sitting there cutting up salad and everything. Then they interviewed people in those restaurants, in McDonald's and KFC and those other takeaway shops. And the belief over there is that it's healthy food because of how they market it. And it's because the government regulations are not as tight as France or Australia or places in
I
Europe.
remember when
very,
it
very
started
quickly.
to change.
Natalia, good stuff, girl. And yes, coffee is one of the biggest markups.
Yes.
McCafe made the parents want to stay on. Big win.
Yes.
And
It
Donna
did.
owned the coffee shop for a while, so she would
did
know
too.
that.
So did we.
Yeah.
We owned a coffee shop for a little while. And it is.
And Natalia's right.
It
because
is.
the parents go, well, where you want to go? I'll tell you what, the kids like Macca's, I can have coffee, and there's a
And
playground.
there's a playground.
Opened up a whole new demographic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Plus, they get the little kids set with the
That's
colouring
right.
in, and like they can sit there and entertain. And it made more people book their kids' birthday parties because they had their
Yes.
function rooms, and it just
we did our
definitely
kids' birthdays at Macca's
Yeah,
and
we-
100 Jacks and
yeah.
stuff. Yep. Sorry, you
Plus,
were
you
gonna
don't have to
Yeah,
clean
no.
up.
You don't have to clean up.
I was going to say, I remember when I guess the whole look towards what we were eating and obesity
Yeah.
started to change. You know, back when I was managing, and I remember they changed the type of oil we cooked the chips in. They cut the sugar back in the bread rolls because there was loads of sugar in the bread rolls, so they would get that nice toasting.
Yeah, they're real
to it.
caramelised
Yeah,
bun.
yeah.
That's sugar, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So and you could really tell the difference. But
Right.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
That was the interesting thing about this article because the guy that was doing the documentary, he actually tasted, the takeaway food in Asia,
Yeah.
and because of the high sugar and salt content, it makes them highly addictive. So people
Yes.
crave the food
Yes.
even more, and that's the intention. Is that
Of course.
they've
Why wouldn't
they've added so much, which obviously shows how much
they say
I've
it's like a
been
drug addiction.
for a long
Yeah,
time
sugar,
set
is
out
it?
for
Sugar is
sugar.
addiction.
And fat though as well. They say the fat.
And if you ever want to get off sugar and really understand the effect it has on your body, watch that sugar movie. Because that sugar movie changed my life as far as that guy went on full sugar diet, and they actually tracked the effect it had on his body through doctors and GPs along the way, and it was actually killing his internal organs. And he put on this unbelievable amount of weight, and he got sluggish, and it was actually horrible. They said the sugar, like the change in his body from when he went on this really high sugar diet, it actually could have killed him if he'd have continued, because he went on mega high amounts.
Yeah.
He had organ failure.
He did,
or something,
yeah,
didn't he?
yeah.
After a month or something.
Yeah, it was pretty
No, it was a good
intense.
movie.
That sugar movie, go Google it,
Yeah.
YouTube it. Honestly, it'll scare the living
Moderation.
chilios out of you.
Everything in moderation.
Moderation.
Right?
Yeah.
And Trish and Darren Martin have just joined us, so we're going to have to work out whether Natalia or Donna have given us more comments. What did we say, most comments? No one's actually just asked. You know when you say, can I have this profile, please? Can I be the choice?
Natalia wasn't here when you offered it though.
So Natalia, first person, actually we're going to change the rules up a bit because we can.
Actually, first person to comment
Just
that they would like a free profile, disc profile.
I
thought that was what I was going to say. Man, that was good.
Now we're
The
watching.
first person to comment.
And if you haven't joined the conversation yet, disc profile is a personality profiling questionnaire that tells you
Very
how you
beneficial
work and how
to
you
do a
can,
disc profile.
how you can be worked with. So really helpful. So in close,
Hey, Lisa.
3 minutes. So
Well, we've really just talked about takeaway
Takeaway
food.
food.
We have.
We're supposed to be just talking. So after,
yeah, but you know what I love about our chats?
yeah, it's just
We
Off
we
the cuff.
haven't yet.
Nothing scripted.
And
No.
we're not only that,
Oh, we've
we
actually
haven't actually bagged
No.
takeaway food yet.
No, we haven't.
There's only positives. Every industry, like Macca's, I think Macca's is the biggest real estate business on the planet. and the biggest training organisation on the planet.
And their training is
huge,
exceptional.
huge, yeah.
And
Exceptional.
just quick comment. And just before we go off it, why don't we talk
Hey,
quickly
Lisa.
about the movie, The Founder? So they.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
seen
that's
it?
actually, I have seen it.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point.
Absolutely, because
Hey, Murray.
afternoon team, see you in a few
Hey,
weeks. You
Murray.
sure will. Murray's coming to our.
Oh, is he
booth.
coming up?
He's coming to.
Oh, Murray.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Coming
So
to
public
the public
speaking.
speaking.
Awesome.
in
I haven't looked
February.
into that.
Yes, no, that's all right. That's all right.
I better do that.
Now,
Add it to me list.
Do it. Now,
I need an Allison.
that's right. We do need.
My
Oh, no,
Allison's
you've
away.
got an
No,
Allison.
she's away at the
She's away.
moment. She's coming back Tuesday, and I'm like, if
Is
you
she?
don't get
Oh,
back
okay.
here soon, I'm leaving.
Just very quickly on the founder. What I love about the founder is
Really tipped off
he's
the
a
chair.
guy with an absolute commitment
Oh,
and
yes.
focus, and even in his 50s, no one knows that. But in his 50s, he founded Macca's, Ray Kroc, which is really cool to see. It's not a burger business; it's a real estate business.
Yes, it is.
Um,
Well said, Donna.
They own some of the best real. Them in the
Absolutely.
Catholic Church.
Yeah,
and it's
Own the best real estate in the world.
And if you watch the movie The Founder, you'll see how that all unfolded.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I asked
Very
Tony one day,
interesting.
Tony won't mind me sharing this. I said, Tony, was he really as bad as they portray him? He said they made him look good in the movie.
Oh,
I'm like, seriously, he
okay.
said he's in folklore, obviously,
Really?
for being quite a strict business person.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
a strict businessman.
Mm.
So
Yeah, wow, that's interesting. No one's still asked for the
I
disc
know,
profile.
but
If
it
anyone
mustn't be-
wants a free disc
mustn't-
profile
it
from the
mustn't be.
Guinea group, you need to ask in the comments right now.
Yeah, I know. Can we be any
Before-
more clear about
I know.
it? Maybe because Murray's
First
done it.
person to
Actually,
say
Murray,
yes,
how,
please.
How good was your disc profile, man? Can you
Yeah,
just give
Murray,
some
we were
feedback?
talking about the disc profiling.
What'd
that
you
we did.
learn? Oh no, Murray hasn't done it because he wasn't at our
Oh,
retreat.
that's right, he
Yes,
wasn't.
He's going
But
to
you
get
will
to
get
do
one.
it.
John
Sorry.
Friday! Happy
Yeah.
Friday!
George on this morning. He said, "What's on Guns and Roses this afternoon?"
Oh,
Guns.
John, he's a good bloke.
Ah.
He's seriously
I know, he's
just
lovely.
a good
Love
bloke.
it.
Love the guest.
Ah,
Oh,
thanks,
we love it
John.
too, bro.
John, is the man walk on this afternoon?
Yes.
Oh,
Right
cool.
now.
Give it a plug. Give it a plug.
Righto.
He
You
always
know what
jumps
I'm
on before he
organising?
goes on the man.
Hello, Wendy. What are you organising?
I am organising a free junior coaching clinic
Holy
for
shit.
kids on motorbikes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that to
last-
teach them safety and stuff?
to teach them how
Not to
to
fall off.
ride safely, the skills, and even just
Do you
bike
ride
maintenance.
motorbikes?
Oh yeah, I ride.
Yes, yeah. She's a nutter.
She's a biker
I
chick.
know, she
I
biker chick.
actually participated in my first race. I've always officialed them. And I actually raced last year
Oh
for the
my
first
god,
time.
that's amazing.
So,
So are
yeah.
you a dirt bike rider?
Dirt bike
So you
rider.
don't ride a road bike?
No.
Okay.
I'd
So
like
she's a
to.
dirt girl, not a leather girl. Oh, I can see that happening.
So,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
might be swimming. It's a bit wet out
Yeah.
there,
We
which
have
we
120
really need it.
kick
So
off man walk
that's
down.
amazing. So anyone who has a young kid who wants to, you want them to learn a bit more about being safe on their motorbike,
We
then
just
get in
missed
touch
Donna.
with Anton.
Firm but
But
fair are the best ones to work
Yes.
for. So
Yeah.
that's about leadership, right?
Yeah.
Firm but fair. And I used to have a boss who used to say firm, fair, and friendly.
hmm
So you've got to be firm and fair. You still got to be nice about it. And I never got the friendly piece until probably the last couple of years. And I've incorporated that heavily into the work we do. So
Yeah.
no harm. You got to do no harm.
Yeah.
I don't care whether you're dominant. I don't care how big a decision is.
Yeah.
If you hurt people,
Yeah.
you're not a good leader. That's one of the things. That's our big thing, right?
Oh,
Do no harm.
Mm.
So I get the firm, fair, but friendly as well. If
Yeah,
that's
but
okay.
I loved when
Right.
I mean, I was only, I think, about 18, 19. My dad gave me the book, The 1 Minute Manager, to read.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it.
Simple.
Simple.
Easy.
You know, and
Hey,
just,
look.
and I could understand it at that age.
Absolutely.
You know, it
Mm.
was, yeah.
And wouldn't
That's
it be
really
good? Imagine if every young leader or manager, someone handed them a book like that and
Yeah.
said, well, don't do anything without
Do you know
this.
what? They should make them read it in school with the Barefoot Investor.
Yes,
The
yes.
Barefoot
I
Investor
thought so.
should actually be taught in
Yeah.
schools.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It seriously should. There's so much. I mean, there's so much crap that
Love
kids are
that.
taught at school, and
none
I
of it's-
say that with all
most of
due
it's not
respect.
relevant. And even though, like, you know that meme that
There's
says,
relevant stuff we learn every day,
Yeah.
but they don't teach you that you've got to get a Medicare card when you leave
That's
school,
right.
and you don't
Tax file
all the
number.
tax file number and how to actually do your tax and how to take it. Like, there's so many things.
I'm connected to
They
a
should
few.
also teach them how to cook. Because
Well,
that's a lost
don't they
skill.
do home ec?
Not like
Don't
they
do
used
home
to.
ec these days?
They don't. Nobody has that as a. Yeah, but not to the
No,
not the,
They
to
used
the
to.
extent that we.
Yeah.
Um,
We used to have it as in grade A. You had to do every subject. They
Yeah,
were
yeah, that's
compulsory.
right.
Woodwork,
Yeah,
metalwork. You had to
history,
do-
geography, all
We
that
had to
sort
do
of
the whole
jazz.
lot, home ec, and then
find out what you like.
and then grade
Graphics.
9 you got to out of your year of doing
Yeah.
those subjects.
Is
you
it still
got
like
to
that these days? No.
I don't know. Isn't there more elective subjects now?
Yeah,
How
there's
does it
so
work?
many elective subjects,
I know, it's
and
ridiculous.
I guess, the selection gets wider and wider as they go.
It's because everyone wants to be people pleasers and give everyone all the choices.
Yeah,
It's like you shouldn't have too many.
No.
you start going into your specialised fields quite early, I think.
Yeah, they do. And aren't the proms
is a good
early
thing.
this year? They've changed the whole
Yeah.
high school
This year.
system,
Yeah.
and they're in the middle of the year. All the proms and graduation.
Followed
have
by the
changed.
4-hour work week for procrastinators.
Thank you. We should write the school curriculum
Yes,
of
we
what
should be
people, what
teaching.
kids should have
We
to
should
read.
consult.
Us
to-
Anton getting safety manuals so that when you go into
Safety
industry, you don't do what he did.
That's right. Don't blow yourself up.
Don't blow yourself
Actually,
up.
we've just rolled out. We're doing wellness as well now.
Yeah.
Too. So
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
we've rolled out a 2-hour wellness program for particularly apprentices and that sort of an age
You
group.
get John Sorotti to help you.
And fitness for work,
talk.
John. So yeah,
Come and talk.
and John will be the one to come.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was, I shared one day a meme just talking about school. You know, I'm glad I studied algebra at school. I'm just going off to do some
Yeah.
algebra now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the
And
unnecessary
I'm
stuff
connected
that
to
we
some
do.
nerds, right? And someone got quite offended.
Well, some
It's
of them do use it all the
Oh, I
time,
know.
every day.
I use it. I used it today. Some dude said,
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, go you, bro. Good on you, champ." Well,
Yeah, but
I
it's
haven't.
like a chemistry table.
Yes.
Oh, don't
I use
even
that.
mention
Honestly,
it.
it was
Never.
What's
drilled
it
into
called?
me.
What's it called?
Like, I don't know, the table of like stupid letters and numbers that I
Yeah.
know.
Do you know what it
O2,
is?
I know.
You don't-
CO2,
what's it
I
called?
know.
What's it
H.
called? Okay, so
It's something's table. It's
so
the
that's table.
periodic table.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
yay!
it. Oh, well done.
Do you know Jules hadn't heard of that?
Oh, really?
And I'm going to call
She's a
her out
teacher.
here. I know.
She's
So
a primary school teacher.
Toby was mortified because Toby's our nerd, right? And he's a bit aspy too. He was in about grade 10, and he said to Jules, he'd come home and he said, "Oh, I'm just going through the periodic table." And Jules said, "Oh, what's that?" And Toby,
Oh, he would have been mortified.
because he's now a scientist or
Yeah.
whatever he does,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Mum, I can't believe you're teaching our children. You don't even know what chemistry is." you
Oh
know?
my gosh. And see
Oh.
someone who's
Still a joke
chemistry
in our family.
minded.
Still a joke in our family.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so funny. What's
Periodic
that?
table.
Jules goes,
Ian
what's that?
Watson, yeah.
You know what? I just had a brilliant idea just to segue. John said they're just about to start the man
Man
walk.
walk.
We should go down one afternoon
Do
and
it
do our
man.
live
Before the man walk.
and see if anyone wants to have a chat to us
Yes.
on
Yeah.
that. Because I think to give
a
the
great-
man walk a more of a plug, I think it would be really good to do that, John. So you're probably walking now, but if you're interested in us, if you wanted to have a chat to anyone and see if they want to jump on, we'll come
Beautiful.
down and do it from there.
Ali had
I
a
had
great
an idea as well.
Yeah.
I
See what all
thought-
about the idea.
Yeah,
she's
well, I
an
was
idea
thinking,
for
well, you guys talk about Gladstone region a lot and all for supporting our businesses and that. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if each month you did your lives at a different location?
Yeah,
to
I've
share
loved that
love.
idea for a while. Because we're going to do it from different businesses, coffee shops and all that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. But I think it's a great idea. But
Let's
even
do
to
that.
go,
Let's
I love
commit to
that,
that
to
in
go into
February.
going
It's
into
for a
actual
month.
businesses.
Yeah.
Why don't we
Yeah.
do the doc in February?
We've got to see if they want to do it.
Yeah, we'll ask them. Not.
Yeah.
Because they start at the dock, don't they?
That's
Is that
what
where
I
the
mean.
man walk
Yeah,
starts?
that's why I
Yeah,
said
so
that.
we'll do it at
Yeah.
the dock, and that way,
Yeah.
because I'd like John, what I'd like, and obviously there will be people that would like to remain confidential when we get there, but if John actually talks to some of the guys, I'd like them to get on and to let everybody know how much the Insight Tribe and Insight Man Circle and that has helped them, because
Yeah.
really good, especially men's mental health in Gladstone.
Great for the
There's very
community.
little available, and it's a really great thing for guys to know about, and a lot of people don't. I've actually recommended John and those and the
100
Insight
times.
Tribe to a lot of people who have no idea that exists. So I think
Yeah.
it'd be really good to get the word out.
Thanks,
So,
Kevin Appo, for joining us. No, I agree, because John does such good work.
He does.
He saves people from taking their lives.
He
man.
does. Yeah,
Like, he is serious.
he is incredible.
Mhm.
He's a serious contributor to this
Yeah.
community. And I think, those sort of people are sort of undervalued and
Oh, yeah.
underappreciated.
Yeah.
Like the work
Yeah.
they do is
Definitely.
life-changing.
It is.
And we
It's
really
life-saving.
appreciate it.
It's life-saving.
Yes, it is. It's
Hey,
life-saving.
Ian
Yeah.
Watson, we've offered everyone on here a free disc profile. If you want to do your disc profile for you or someone in
one?
your team, for
For
one,
one.
just one, yeah.
One winner.
At
Yeah,
200
we haven't
at
offered it to
200 bucks.
everyone. We've offered it
But
to
no
the
one's
first
asked
person.
us,
The first
can you
person
do a
that
disc
comments
profile
that they
for us?
want it, it's
That's
all
right.
theirs.
And
Beachy!
Beachy, do you want a disc profile done? Yell out, man, because we're the first person that says, yeah.
First person.
I thought Donna Ellis would have been all over this,
Me
because she would
too.
just benefit
Because she
so
could have
much
shared that
from
with her
that.
team.
Yeah. Come on, Donna.
I'm actually surprised that a lot of these these networkers actually
haven't had this profiling done because it would be very beneficial.
Yeah,
Denise Whalen's not on today, but if she's like got a huge team of people in her network marketing, it would be fantastic for Denise.
And I know, and like what I haven't told everyone out there is I want to sign up for that Juice Fluff eventually one day, but I only use people that use us.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting. Like we've got all these programs, with all this stuff. We've done programs for networkers, and no one comes to it. But then they approach us to buy their stuff, right? So, and sorry, this is said with love to networkers.
You would be so
go
beneficial
both
to
ways, right?
anyone who does, because I did network marketing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I sold Lorraine Lee Lennon for many, many years. I was a district manager,
You were,
and she has a heap going. She said she must be already doing it.
going on.
Oh, going on.
Yeah.
What is it, Guins? Oh, people probably don't even know it.
This
Beachy would know it. It's profiling.
It takes about 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
About 10 minutes to answer the questions.
Free disc profile to the first person who comments that they want to be the winner today.
Yeah.
Very worthwhile. It's like Myers and Briggs. And I've had it done, and it's really amazing and very beneficial.
It is,
very beneficial.
Quite a good tool.
Donna
Donna
said
said
yes,
please.
please.
Oh, Donna, you're a champ. There you go, Sol.
Absolutely, Sol.
Go
There
on,
it is.
everyone.
Well done.
And of course, what is it again?
It doesn't take long, Don.
Beachy, give me a call.
You actually get an
Just
email,
call
and
Beachy.
you tick the boxes and
Donna's
multiple
definitely
choice
in.
questions, and
So we'll get Donna a link next week.
Natalia
Yeah.
would like one.
Okay.
Now you've got to decide
Now we've got
if you're
two.
giving them to
That's
everyone.
Yeah, that's okay. So Donna got in
Be good
first.
for Natalia in
Beach
council,
them.
being
I'd
in
love-
council.
I would. I'd nearly consider Natalia if you. I'd do it for all of council.
Actually, I was going to say,
Yeah.
if Natalia does it,
and
the
like-
councillors are all crazy if they
They
don't do it, just to work together.
We can do it
you
at
know.
like a half price at $100 or something like that, right?
Do it, yeah. Talk to
it
Matt
might be a
Burnett.
deal
Say,
that we can
Matt,
do.
get everyone profiled.
ESTP. Extrovert. You are too, Beachy. Absolutely. So that's Myers-Briggs ESTP. Okay, cool.
He's
very
either had it
extroverted.
done before, or he's read it
He
and he
knows
knows
himself
what it is
well.
already.
No, that's right. So that's the Myers-Briggs one. So the first one is, are you
Natalia,
introvert
you know
or
what?
extrovert?
What they should do is disprofile
Desley
all the
O'Grady.
Desley,
We got
good on you,
Yeah,
councillors.
Desley.
They
And-
should
yeah.
you should disprofile all the candidates.
Oh,
All the
now
candidates.
you're talking. And we'll
And
give
then
that
we
to
can put
Matt.
the best team
And we'll
together.
give the candidates
Yes,
to Matt. And,
and
he
say,
can
all right,
say, oh, this is who
This
I'm
is who should be in
Hello,
council, so they
Desley.
all work well together.
How cool is that?
Hey, Desley.
Oh,
You should
cool,
be busy
thank
too.
you.
Everyone's getting busy leading up to council elections, and we're getting up to the hour. So,
Yeah.
so what do you
So,
want? What
yeah.
are we going to end on? Oh, I know what I wanted to ask. When you had your babies, because getting back into the workforce, because you know you said you stopped working to have a family, which I
Yes.
did as well.
Yeah.
So I was
It's actually
nursing,
black,
and then
right?
oh god.
No, only your.
Oh,
Only
that's
your
right, only my
bladder.
bladder, because I've had two kids. I've got a bladder.
So when you
Yeah.
had your babies, so how old were the kids when you decided to get back into the workforce?
I actually went and just did grocery fill
Mm.
when my youngest was about 3.
So
because they were flexible around my husband's
Yes.
shift work.
a lot of people do
Yeah.
that, which is great.
And I just wanted something mind-numbing where I could talk to some of the other
And a
staff.
bit of cash.
Yeah, and something physical. Because I'd really got hooked on gym
That's
after
right.
having the first one.
Mm.
And
Did you put on a lot of weight? Was that
I-
just we never know, because she's about
No.
27 kilos
I put on a ton.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was that through your pregnancies?
Through pregnancy.
Yeah.
I went, you know what? I'm fat anyway.
I was actually
I
I was
cake every
150
day.
kilos when I fell pregnant. So yeah, I carried my 2 kids through that, carrying that weight on top, and they both weighed 9 pounds.
I think I nearly
So-
doubled in weight.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Lucky I didn't. When I was already 150.
So, but yeah, no, I went and did that.
Thanks, Natalia.
And then I had fantastic opportunity to go work out on the Y2 project.
Oh wow! Okay.
For Bechtel. And
We
Desley.
and then
Desley says you're a legend. Thanks for the
Oh.
community work you do.
oh,
She
thanks,
is a
Desley.
legend.
legend.
I've got to talk to you. I've got another one coming up. We had 120
That's
kids last time from over CQ comes, so hopefully
Oh, awesome.
same again.
Yeah, cool. So
So
very quickly.
was from the W2, did you then get into the guinea group? Was that, or was
Yeah,
that way later?
From Y2 got into the guinea group. I was what the project was winding up, and
who put us on to you? Was it Tanya?
no,
Who put us on here?
it was. Oh my God!
I went to gym for a month before starting work with my first job.
Oh, well done. Happy
she's
Australia
amazing,
Day to
lady.
you too,
She's the
Desley.
PA.
What's on this weekend,
Yeah.
Desley? We've been
For the,
talking to everyone about that.
Y2 project manager.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks to
moving
whoever
on.
that person
That's
was,
right.
because look at what you
I
were
know,
handed on a silver
I
platter.
know.
You
Very
lucky,
grateful.
lucky man. You got the
Always
most
grateful.
amazing wife,
I
and now
did.
you got the most
Yeah.
amazing
I did.
stuff.
I did.
Crazy.
Very, very lucky.
You're the luckiest man on the
I
planet.
know.
I
Except
feel-
you lost all your
I
hair,
feel
so
very fortunate.
you know there's got to be a balance. You
That's
lose
right.
your hair,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you missed that because I said you're the
Clever.
luckiest man on the planet,
Clever.
except
I
you
am.
lost your hair.
Oh.
But you know what? It suits you because you wouldn't look any good with hair. No, you
You
wouldn't.
say what's
Said
in
with
my
love.
role.
Said with
Said with
love.
love.
Yeah, but
I'm
that's
gonna
it
take
with
that
love.
love.
Bald
Right.
suits you. What do you
Okay,
reckon
thank
bald
you.
suits him?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
well,
does.
okay, cool, cool.
No, I'm very fortunate. I
Oh,
feel
thank
too, because
We're adding value, aren't we?
to work with someone who's so positive all the time, and
Stop it, stop it, stop it.
it really
Stop
and
it.
you know what?
And happy. And
yes,
Doesn't
smart.
it doesn't
And
it lift you
smart.
to be around it? Like
And
Anton has that
intelligent.
effect
And
where
there's so many different
So
new ideas.
positive, yeah.
So many different new ideas.
he's
And-
always
Stop it,
writing
stop it.
things down. You can be in the middle of training and he'll just go, "Oh, hang on a second."
So
He's,
many citizenship ceremony.
Oh, there you go, citizenship ceremony.
That's
Actually,
happy Australia Day to all the
Have we got
upcoming
people
new
become
Australians.
Aussies?
I think
Do we know anyone?
I know someone who should be doing that soon. Ooh, I'm going to have to find out. I want to be there for her.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw one of my Facebook friends said they were nominated for Australia Day award. Who
You know
was
what?
that?
I reckon we're a couple of minutes behind. Everyone's getting this a minute.
Yeah.
Because we moved on.
It's like
Then the last
subtitles.
stuff-
It's like subtitles. It's like we're what do you call the when you
subtitles.
double when you double
the
yeah,
dub,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
dubbing,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, team. Well, listen,
Sorry
that's
about
been
that,
great.
everyone.
No, we've
Yeah.
had such a great time.
Oh,
Thanks,
Australia
Natalia.
Day,
Australia Day,
Free
Free
Family
Family
Monday.
Monday.
Now, and Ali, if it's okay, we've got some email addresses there. So Donna and Natalia will follow up with Monday.
Yeah.
to keep-
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Congratulations, girl.
I'll be in the office Monday.
Yeah, long weekend.
Keep forgetting, it's just another day.
Don't you think
Another day
every
to work.
weekend should be a long weekend?
Weekend. I agree.
That'd be nice.
Don't you reckon?
That'd be
But I
great.
also wonder if we had 3-day long weekend, would everyone want 4 days?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I don't know. They're trialing it.
Can I tell you something? Remember I went to Melbourne for Ramco like probably
Yes.
a few months ago. They said, "How come no one works on Fridays in Queensland?"
Oh, really?
True story.
I'll bloody
Because
work
they've
on a
got-
Friday.
Oh, me too. They
Jeez.
said they don't even worry about calling their office on Friday in Queensland.
Oh, really?
Desley just said we were just
Slow.
slow on a Friday afternoon. You just slow to reply. Is that the
Girls'
problem?
Guides are nominated. Oh, yeah, I'll be
Oh,
there.
Girls' Guides.
Nice.
Awesome. Oh, Mark, we're just about to wrap up, so you'll have to replay.
Oh,
She's done an awesome
She
job.
is a champion. and
She
that's
is
why
a
we love her so
champion.
much.
She is.
All right,
Have an
so-
awesome long weekend,
Yeah,
everybody.
fantastic
Have
long
fun
weekend.
and happy Australia Day to
Yes.
everybody.
Very
Hope
good.
you have a great time.
We
Hope we
are.
get a bit more rain. The rain's been
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah.
And hope you don't get too sloshed.
No.
No,
Don't
no.
get too
no,
sloshed.
no.
Drive safe.
Goodbye.
Oh,
And happy Australia Day, long weekend, everybody. Stay safe.
Have a great
Enjoy the
time.
rain. Don't drink too well.
That-
Drink,
yeah,
but don't
drink
drink it
heaps.
dry.
Just do it smart.
Do it smart.
Play some cricket. all
Get
that sort of
sunburn.
stuff.
Yeah. Cook some sausages.
Aussie.
Go for 100k push bike ride and a 20k
Oh,
run,
yeah.
all that sort of stuff.
Do it
Yeah,
in
yeah. Take the
triathlon.
dirt bikes out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.